Let me explain a little bit of things to you guys. First of all, and I have it written down besides explaining it verbally. So I'll kind of explain it verbally and then I'll show you guys. So the first thing you need to know is that fat has 9 calories for 1 gram. Carbs is 4 calories per gram, and alcohol is 7 calories per gram. You can count alcohol against your daily fat intake or your daily carb intake. It's totally up to you. I prefer to count it against my fat for 2 reasons. 1, 7 is a lot closer to 9 than it is to 4, which means you're going to be using up almost double the amount of carbs. But also, most of us are limited on our fat intake. Even people who are on a higher fat macro breakdown, none of us are eating, 100 and something grams of fat a day. So it's going to be really hard if I say I'm always going to count my alcohol against my fat. It's going to be hard for me to overdrink, because you have to remember that even though you can make it fit, you don't need to be making 4, 5, 6 drinks fit your macros, because alcohol has definitely negative effects on metabolism and hydration and other stuff too. But you should definitely be able to enjoy alcohol and continue to lose. So it's not one or the other. You don't have to be, you don't have to sacrifice alcohol. So that's the first thing you're going to want to write down if you guys are interested in the actual math part of it. That fat, is that backwards? I mean, it's backwards to me. Is it backwards to you? Because Lord knows I can't, okay. It's backwards to me, so I wanted to make sure that you guys can read that. Okay, so there it is. Fat has 9 calories per gram, carbs has 4 per gram, and alcohol has 7 calories per gram. So there's a website called Get Drunk Not Fat, and it will give you the calories like per ounce of different liquors, also beer, that kind of stuff. And that's going to be really helpful, especially if you go out. So my first suggestion is going to be try to stick to clear liquors. I know, isn't it fantastic? So clear liquor is going to have the most alcohol in it. Like I was telling you. So what happens is, my example I'm going to use today is brandy. It's called getdrunknotfat.com. There you go. Liquor before beer. Coast is clear. So I'm going to use this brandy just because it's something that I have in my house. I'm a baker, by the way. I have alcohol in my house is for baking. That's why there's not very much in there, I swear. I was using this one just because it has a barcode, so I can give you the exact macros for this one as an example. You obviously, when you go out to a bar or something, you're not going to be, I guess you could ask the guy, could I scan the back of that bottle that you just made my drink out of? But if you don't want to, then the best thing to do is going to be go off an average shot, which is 1 ounce to 1.5 ounces. It'll depend on the bar. And again, these are things you can ask a bartender, but if you're at a Christmas party or something and you say, I'm going to order the drink, and I would usually count it as it's going to be 1 shot to 1.5 shots. Sometimes you can get a bartender that's really liberal with the liquor. So we're going to use this brandy specifically just so I can show you the macro breakdown. When I scanned the back of this, it came up in MyFitnessPal as 56 calories. There are no carbs in this liquor. So where do the calories come from? They all come from alcohol. So what you're going to do is, I'll show you right here. Yeah, I know, me too. That's the best kind of bartender. So if you take the brandy right here, 1 ounce equals 56 calories. There's no carbs in the brandy. So if you want to count the brandy as fat against your fat, you're going to take your 56 calories, you're going to divide it by 9. If you want to count it as fat, which is going to equal 6.2 grams of fat. If you want to count it against your carbs, you're going to do 56 divided by 4, if as carb, and that's going to be 14 grams of carbs. So what you're going to want to do, if you see it written below here, is in MyFitnessPal, you're going to want to create a food for alcohol. So it's a real simple thing. I can't show you right now because I'm actually using my phone. You're going to want to, yay, visual learners. That's me too. I'm like, you better write that down because That's a whole lot of numbers at one time. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create, I'm going to show you this as an example as creating a fat. You're going to want to create a fat and a carb in MyFitnessPal because sometimes you're just not going to have the fat left and you still wanted to have the drink, and then you can go ahead and use the carbs that you have left. Or sometimes people have an abundance left of one macro or the other, and it just makes more sense for them to use that one and still get to enjoy their drink. So if you're going to create it, the easiest way I have found in MyFitnessPal, here is create as a fat. Call it whatever you want to. I call mine, I think, alcohol conversion, and then I think that's the brand name, and then it'll say description, and I write fat below that. So serving size is going to be 1 gram. Number of servings is going to be 1. And then when you have to go in and start putting in all your nutrients, it's going to be 9 calories and 1 gram of fat. So then what you'll be able to do is, like I told you, the brandy's 56 calories. We divided it by 9. There's 6.2 fat. So then once you go into MyFitnessPal, you choose that food, and the number of servings is going to be 6.2. That's automatically going to calculate as 6.2 here, see, because there's 2 1s. And then the 6.2 times 9 is going to actually be pretty close to that 56. Does that make sense? You can do the same thing as carbs. You'll just do number of servings 1 gram, serving size 1 gram, number of servings 1, calories 4, and then this will be carbs, and there'll be a 1 here instead of fat. All the rest of your micronutrients and macronutrients are all going to be zeros. MyFitnessPal's not going to like that. It's going to say you didn't there's like a whole bunch of other things you didn't enter. Are you okay with that? Yes, we're okay with that. So this is how you do it when you have a liquor that is 100% calories from alcohol. Some people like beer. So if you take something like, the easiest one for me to tell you guys about is Michelob Ultra, because I automatically know the macros. It's 95 calories, and they say that it's 3.2 grams of carbs, right? So the 3.2 grams of carbs is the carbs that come from the grain, wheat or barley or whatever it is that they put in there. The remaining calories is alcohol calories. So when you drink a Michelob Ultra, you're automatically going to use your carb entrance, whatever you call it, and you're going to do the 3.2 carbs, and then that's going to be multiplied by 4, right? Because carbs, 4 calories per gram. So you're going to take 3.2 times 4, which is like, what, roughly 12. So that's going to be about 12 calories. Then you're going to subtract 12 from 95. The remaining calories is all alcohol, which then you can choose. Like I said, you want to convert it all to carbs or you want to convert it to fat, that's fine. So do you guys need me to show you that one, or does that make sense? I guess it makes sense for everybody. Okay, so the other thing when you are out drinking, if you prefer liquor, like I said, the clearer the liquor, the lower in calories it's going to be, the more alcohol. So you're not, the dark, like a dark beer is obviously going to have a lot more calories and a lot more carbs than the light beers do. So if you are okay with drinking liquor as opposed to beer or wine, you're going to be able to drink more, and you're going to be able to be a little bit more accurate with your macros. The other thing with things like wine is they typically will take a glass, and some of them say that that's a glass of wine, some of them that that's a glass. Whereas a shot of liquor, most bartenders use that little silver shot glass, and they fill it up, and they'll get a little bit liberal with it, but you're going to be a lot closer than saying, well, such and such restaurant's glass of wine was actually 4 ounces when the other one we went to was 6.5, and you're not going to really be able to gauge that as easily. Again, your next safest bet is going to be bottled beer. You're guaranteed a certain amount of alcohol within that bottle, and it can be scannable at your table, so that makes that a lot easier too. So my go-to drink when I go out is tequila. I like margaritas. We all know that a real margarita can be upwards of 500 to 600 calories and can blow your macros out the door. So what I end up doing is I ask for silver tequila. It's a smoother tequila than the gold is, but you can, if whatever you prefer. Silver, I believe, depending on where you go, may be a little bit pricier. But I asked for silver. They give it to me and I asked for it on the rocks. So they'll give it to me in a larger tumbler because I asked for it with ice in there. I then take my water, fill it up the rest of the way, ask them for a bowl of limes, squeeze 3 or 4 lime slices in there, and then I will either carry liquid stevia or they'll have Splenda packets, any kind of a no-calorie sweetener. Put a couple of drops of this in there, stir it up. Literally, you got a 59-calorie margarita. And again, so yeah, that's the other thing I know. Tequila is 59 calories per shot for silver. So if you know that you're going to be out and you're going to be at somebody's party, typically the smartest thing, like I said, is going to be going with bottled drinks as opposed to things that they're mixing. I told you, get drunk, not fat. It's huge to me. I mean, it's been a life changer because I've always thought that if I was going to drink, that I was going to completely ruin any fat loss progression that I had. And to be able to find out that there's easy ways. I mean, you know, how many calories is going to be in 2 slices of lime juice, right? You're squeezing it out. And you just go by flavor. But even a skinny margarita is going to get you 150 calories because most of them use a pre-mix and then they put their tequila in there. And I don't know what's in the pre-mix. I mean, some of them, like I said, some of them are fine. Like the Skinny Girl pre-mix is actually pretty good macros on it. But yeah, see, and that's the thing is if you can mix it at home. Another thing that I do, which I had introduced Skinny Meg to when we were on the boat this summer, is Crystal Light with tequila. You buy the on-the-go Crystal Light packets. Another thing that you can take to a bar. They just fit in your purse, you know, the little sticks. And then you get a shot of tequila, fill up the rest of the cup with water, pour in your Crystal Light, stir it up. You can get every flavor of the rainbow. Peach, mango, coconut, blackberry. I mean, you can literally, you can do vodka. You could do any, again, clear liquor is going to be your best bet. And nobody thinks anything of it. You know, most people are just fine. I mean, my girlfriend Meredith figured that out when she had go to something over a weekend and she brought her food and she swore people were going to think she was weird. And then people ended up actually thinking how cool it was that she was controlling what she was eating. It is so good, isn't it, Ashley? That's a fantastic lifesaver, like I said, that's right. Most people are trying to get drunk and not fat. The problem is that we don't know how to do that and stay within, and what normally happens. That was the other thing I was going to say. So if you count it as your fats, you tend to not overdrink. And overdrinking not only can mess with our metabolism and cause dehydration, it typically ends up making us make really bad, poor food choices after we've had a couple of drinks. Nachos start sounding really good when I start feeling pretty good. So typically, if you don't have the macros to be over drinking, you're also not going to have the macros to overeat. Unless you're drunk and you like to eat carrot sticks, but I haven't really met anybody yet who does that. So with the holidays coming up, I kind of want to do several Periscopes over the next couple of days. Yeah, I know, right? What? They have a Crystal Light margarita mix? Where has that been? Is it at the grocery store? Or is it the liquor store? No way! Walmart has everything. I swear I have boycotted that place like 762 times and I still end up going there for stuff. Like my birds. My birds are amazing and they will only eat cheap, crappy Walmart bird seed. I can't get them to eat the good stuff, so we just go to Walmart for that stuff. Yeah, I might be going to Walmart after this. So I think the next couple of Periscopes, because we have the holidays that are coming up. Yeah, it's great. So I found that if I go at like 6 o'clock in the morning on a Monday or a Tuesday, then I do pretty good. But the weekend, it's like Black Friday. Every time I go to Walmart, it's ridiculous. And everybody's rude. Sam's is actually pretty bad too. I guess we have... What kind of mug cake are you hoping for? Do you have a specific type? No doubt. No weekend for sure. Since you're not a drinker, boring. I'm not much of a drinker, but if I'm gonna drink, I mean, like going to my in-laws, I'll make myself into an alcoholic after that mess. Yeah. The pumpkin chocolate chip. Have you tried the banana chocolate chip that I made? Right? See, that's why they make all the good drink mixes at Walmart, because most of us have to be half lit before we walk in that place in the first place. Goodness. I wonder if anybody's ever Periscope from inside of there. How fun would that be? Yeah, so I'm gonna probably we can create. Okay, you know what? I'm writing that down. Dairy-free mug cake. We can always replace it. Yes, so that was what I was going to say. So over the next couple weeks, really, probably starting maybe Wednesday, Thursday, I was going to do a Periscope on a couple of Thanksgiving desserts. One of those is a crustless pumpkin pie. Most of us have things that we really enjoy over the holidays. As I've owned my own baking business for 12 years, so of course I know how to make all the fun stuff. See? Clean. Could you please define the word clean to me? You're a whole food eater. We'll say that. How about that? So yeah, since I am a baker, I typically have a lot of people that request, you know, the typical holiday stuff. Lots of holiday cookies, cupcakes, eggnog, things like that. So my goal this holiday season is to create some things. Good for you. I'll eat all the processed stuff for you. How about that? One of the ladies in my Macro Mamas group asked for truffles, which are pretty much like cake pops with candy on them. So I fully intend on creating a macro-friendly version of that. I also have a macaroons recipe that I created. Like I said, I'll do the crustless pumpkin pie. Absolutely. My email address is poppylockscakes@gmail.com. Any questions that you have, I'm more than willing to answer them. I'm by no means ever trying to get rich off of anybody with this stuff. My hope with sharing this information with you guys is that people become knowledgeable about the food that they put in their mouths, and that you fully understand why you eat the way that you do. Yes, I know, coconut. So I found, this is one thing you'll have to look for, is reduced fat coconut flakes. I found them at Whole Foods, or if you have a place that's like that, Central Market, something like that in your area. That's what I have found between that and using egg whites, and then a combination of like a Truvia baking blend. Walmart has reduced fat coconut. Damn it, I'm gonna have to start going to Walmart again. You're not supposed to keep telling me this stuff. I don't like that place. They do. Dang it. Yeah, so if you have any ideas as far as things that you like in Christmas treats, yeah, but Target has all the Kodiak. So, okay, speaking of, I mean, I'm a Kodiak ambassador, so I'm not going to say anything bad about them. I love a lot of the stuff that they make. But I went ahead and decided to buy a couple of their minute muffins just because I had never had them and they have yet to send them to me. Yes! We'll have a fantastic macros workout, eat all the foods. That's funny. So I bought these minute muffins. Has anybody else tried the Kodiak minute muffins? I cooked it and I let my daughter eat it because there's 50 grams of carbs in one container. And the thing ends up being like that big. I'm like, that's not a muffin. That's like a chocolate biscuit. That's way too high in carbs for me. I mean, if I'm gonna, that's like, yeah, I mean, I guess because it's all pre-mixed and it has sugar and stuff in there so that people can literally eat and go. But I really felt like Kodiak has done such a great job of creating things that are a little bit more macro friendly, and that just blew me out of the water. That's so like I said, I'm now there for my kids. Yeah, way too many carbs. Because I typically mix Kodiak with coconut flour for stuff that I make anyway, just because a regular serving of their their power cakes still is going to be a little bit too high for me. Because you guys know I like to add stuff. Hey, Debbie. Right, exactly. I'm like, 42 carbs? You got to be kidding me. So yeah, and I prefer making my own mug cake anyway, which is going to be like 2 or 3 times that size. No way! How exciting is that? How long have you guys been in Canada? I know that you guys feel so limited with all the different stuff that you... $25? See, that's what I need to do. I need to start a business on shipping stuff to Canada. Make it cheaper. Yes, I can help you. I have, like I said, there's a link on my website, poppylocks.com, for macro calculations, and there's an online form on there. If you just have some questions about it, you can submit the form with whatever questions you have. And if you want me to work on your numbers, it's $30. You get your initial set of numbers plus 2 sets of numbers for if you're on fat loss, for if your weight loss stalls, and then if you're reversing. Besides, I give you instructions on how to do all that stuff. It's not something where I just send you a bunch of numbers and send you on your way. I also, because I only do macros for women, I also have a private Facebook group for the macro mamas where they ask a ton of questions about workouts and about eating and about protein sources. We have a lot of fun in that group. So it's really an amazing group of women, and it's been really exciting to see it grow very quickly. And to see that, I'm not trying to hoard all the info. I love the fact that everybody has great suggestions and that they help each other with their struggles. This is not all about me. This is about a community of people that are like-minded with the same goal in mind. So it's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see how it goes. It can be a bit overwhelming at first, and for sure. But the best part about macros is because there's nothing drastic that should be changing, that you're allowed the time to really figure it out. It's not something that you just have to, don't worry, I'll save it. It's not something you have to understand all at one time, that you can take parts of it and learn slowly. And like I said, if you're one of the ladies that I would help you out with a plan, then you also have the other women and all their resources at your fingertips as well. So I feel like people benefit so much from not just, like I said, one person and their opinion. That's actually something, I had somebody on Instagram tag me, and I felt that she was eating too much protein. From what I know, women really don't need any more than about max 200 grams of protein a day. And excess protein is actually kind of hard on your kidneys, and it's just excreted in your urine. So it ends up kind of being a waste of money if you're overdoing your protein. And the first thing that after she and I kind of discussed it back and forth, she asked if I was a trainer and a nutritionist, and I'm not, and I don't claim to be. I have studied with Lane Norton, which, if anybody knows who he is in the macro world, he actually has a PhD, and I've learned, yes, I will post in our group, I'll post the link, because I know that did you miss some of it? I guess you just came on, Sarah. So I kind of started, I try not to get my panties in a bunch too much because I realize that some people just really want to see a certification. And I used to be like that and some of you guys know my story, I could not figure out why I wasn't losing weight, and I went to my doctor. I mean, this is a guy who, he's my primary care physician, and he's supposed to have gone to school for a decade. And when I told him I was eating 1,300 calories a day and running 50 to 60 miles a week and working out 5 to 6 days a week, his suggestion was just eat less. This is a doctor. So that was really when the light came on, and I thought, I have the power and the knowledge at my fingertips to learn about how my body functions and why my metabolism is the way that it is, and what can I do to fix that so that I can start to lose again. So I hate to say it. I know that doctors are fantastic. I'll never say a bad thing about them, but I'm not going to put all my eggs in that one basket. If he told me what he did, then at least bare minimum, go to another doctor and ask them the same questions. Not because you're trying to get somebody to agree with you, but just because one person isn't the end all be all with any information on any topic whatsoever. So if any of this sounds iffy to you or confusing, please don't just take my word for it. Go research it on the internet. Go find the answers that you need to be comfortable to take that next step, whether it be with macros or Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig. Yeah, see, exactly. And unfortunately, nutritionists, if you read online, they suggest that a man eats 56 grams of protein a day and the average woman gets 46. That's absolutely horrible. And there's no way that you're going to ever build lean muscle with eating that low of a protein intake. But that's probably the bare minimum for a sedentary individual. Unfortunately, in the United States, there's a lot of them. And they also say, yeah, because I know, I'm like, wait a second, I had 52 grams for breakfast today. Well, and that's the problem is, like I said, I'm not, oh, good, I'll look for it. So, like I said, if somebody feels that their trainer, I mean, I've gone to a trainer before and he's given me the bro diet of like, all you can eat is lean chicken and broccoli, and that's the only way that you're going to be ripped. So that's fine. I mean, there's a lot of people that have success with that. And if that's what you want to stop with and stay with, more power to you. But I'm an information seeker, and that's why I know what I do. Like I said, I'm not super intelligent, know all the things, and I'll never claim that I do. And if somebody doesn't want to use me because I don't have a couple of letters behind my last name that says I'm certified in this stuff, then that's all right. Actually, if you do search online, you can't get certified for macro calculations anywhere anyway. So anybody that does somebody's macros that says they're certified in it is not telling you the truth. Just so you know, you can be a personal trainer, right? And go online for that. They are. I mean, I'm telling you, Mary Lee, this is the girl to listen to. She has had major success, and she will tell you that the number one reason she is succeeding is consistency. She is on her numbers and she is working out, and we're not all going to have the amazing success that she does right off the bat. A lot of times I don't like to tell people, you know, you're going to have, oh girl, I know, Ashley, seriously. We're not all going to have that immediate success. Everybody's numbers, metabolism, age can all be a factor. I'm glad you did too. Oh, thank you so much. So it's definitely something that you should take into consideration too when you're seeking somebody out. Like I said, if you don't use me, that's fine. But if somebody is willing to just take your money and give you numbers with no explanation as to why you have those numbers, run. Ask for your money back and run. Because if you were eating, let's just say you've never logged before, and so you just decide for the heck of it just to see where you are, and you've been eating 1,200 calories a day, and you decide that you want to have somebody calculate your macros. And you contact them and you say, hey, I'd like to have you calculate my macros. And they send you back numbers. And the numbers are starting you out at 1,500 calories a day. Well, if you've only been eating 1,200, you're actually going to gain weight on their quote-unquote fat loss plan. And that's what I'm saying. I had a coach who gave me a lot of information when I first started, and I felt like that's one of the main reasons that I really got my head wrapped around why I eat the way that I eat. And so I felt like I got to a point where I was comfortable helping out some of my friends and stuff, and then I realized that there's a lot of women out there that still unfortunately think, again, that starvation is the only way to lose weight. And there could be a 300-pound woman that is eating 1,200 calories a day and is not losing any fat because she's been eating that low for so long that she's going to have to dip even farther down, which is dangerous, especially when you weigh 300 pounds. So there's another way to reverse slowly back up to get her to a more sustainable calorie intake to then help her shed fat in the future. So it's not a get skinny quick. Anybody that says, you know, that you should be losing a certain amount of weight every week is also inaccurate, because everybody's different. Fat loss is never linear. So some people will lose 5 pounds in the first week. It's not 5 pounds of fat. Some people will actually gain a pound or two just because their body has been depleted of glycogen and they're restoring their glycogen stores. I know. The thing is, Jen, with the sodium, as long as you are drinking plenty of water and you're getting in your fiber for the day, then you really should be okay. That's not, like I told you, if your numbers are right and you continue to hit them day after day, your fat loss will still decrease regardless of as long as your sodium's not through the roof. You know, anywhere between 2,500 and 3,500 a day, you should be okay. So yeah, I'm going to work on creating some macro-friendly Christmas-type desserts for everybody, since I know we all party. The best way to stay within your macros, like I said, drink clear liquor. And if you're going to a party where they allow you to bring, everybody bring a dish, a dessert, make something for you that is macro friendly, that is your weakness. So if you're going to a potluck and you love mashed potatoes, let's say, and make a mashed potato dish that is macro friendly, that you already know the macros to ahead of time, because you could probably kind of guesstimate on your turkey. And if you're not a dessert person, you'll be fine with you'll be fine with skipping the dessert table, maybe if you're not a big dessert person, but mashed potatoes is your weakness. So then make that dish. If cookies are your weakness, make macro-friendly cookies. Then don't eat anybody else's cookies while you're there. This is small sacrifices for a big reward, so it's worth it. This is 1 month. If you can, at bare minimum, keep your weight stable until January, you're freaking golden. The problem is that so many people will gain 5 to 10 pounds of fat because they overeat consistently for 5 and 7 days at a time. You will gain a lot of fat. I mean, it's just going to happen. Oh, we have a cardio queen on our hands. So would I. I'm a distance runner. Like I said, I was running 50 to 60 miles a week. I was addicted to the sweat. So what I ended up figuring out was swapping over to high intensity cardio 2 to 3 times a week. You almost feel like you're gonna puke. Shh, so am I. Don't tell anybody. Yeah. Come on down, Jen. You can just live here. We'll just make pancakes and have fun. So you have to figure out that it's most likely the adrenaline pump that you get from the cardio and not necessarily the length of time that you're doing it. High intensity cardio should literally make you feel like you're almost going to throw up by the time that you're done with the 20 to 25 minute session. It's not something that is mellow by any means. And you should work up a really good sweat within about 10 to 15 minutes. Push yourself through. So yeah, Tabata is another one. Oh Lord, that will get you. So I suggest 2 to 3 sessions that range for 20 to 25 minutes. That's per week. So I will recommend some great high intensity. I've got a couple of them that are on the treadmill, some of them are on the stair mill, if you have those. I actually am not a member of a gym anymore, so I do my high intensity stuff on a couple of the hills here in Rockwall. They will make you want to puke. And that your speed isn't going to be key. It's going to be the intensity. So if a 4.5 is intense for you, Jen, that's great. And if 4.5 starts to feel where it's a little bit too easy, just bump up your incline. I mean, it's not going to have to be an all-out true sprint. It's just something that's really pushing you hard. Strength training, I suggest 4 to 5 days a week, depending on what your goals are. I work my big muscle groups at least twice a week. So I do legs twice a week. and then I get my accessory body parts in, chest and back, shoulders, triceps, biceps, that kind of stuff, on top of running twice a week, and then I do a long run once on the weekend. So, but at the same time, I'm in a reverse, so I eat a lot of food. That's going to be key also. You're not going to want to do that much stuff when you're fat loss. The main reason is you want to be doing the least amount of cardio to begin with, because you want to be able to use cardio to your advantage if you hit a weight loss plateau, which most people will. If you start your macro plan doing, 3-4 days of cardio, and then your weight loss stalls, which it will, where do you go from there? Then this is what I was telling you guys I was having the problem with at the doctor. I was doing all the cardio, I was lifting all the weights, and I was eating none of the food, and I wasn't losing anything. Yeah, actually, why don't I do a Periscope on that, Jen? We'll do that tomorrow. So just so you guys know that, we will do that tomorrow somewhere on lunchtime. I will show you guys an example of a sets and reps scheme that is based on fat loss. So we'll do that. Because it does change when you're trying to build muscle. Your rep schemes are going to be a lot lower and very heavy. So we will go ahead and do a sample workout with how you work out these different things, and then I'll give you some examples based on, you guys want them to be based on things that you can use at the gym? Is everybody comfortable with that? I just want to make sure that, it would be different. Okay. Because it would be different, obviously, if you're doing it at home. But, I have a full weight set and everything here at the house, so I can put together kind of an idea for you guys on how to work. Again, the other issue with a lot of people is that they find that they actually are overworking. You don't really need to be doing like 4 or 5 movements for the same part on your leg. That's really kind of redundant. So your workouts really should never have to be max but an hour. A lot of people think, oh, I got to be in the gym. Yeah, and you know what, Jen? That's actually something that I had to be okay with for myself, because like I said, I've always been fairly muscular, but I had fat on top. I still do. I'm not like totally ripped or anything. But that I had to understand that I had to get the muscle built and get my metabolism back to a more functioning level before I could cut fat off the top of the muscle. So as I was in this muscle building phase and eating more and more calories, I got thicker. My pants got tighter, my shirts got tighter, because the fat was still on top of the muscle and the muscle was getting bigger. But what ends up happening is the more muscle you have on your body, the more fat you burn, even at rest, because your metabolism is raised by that. So that when I went into a fat loss plan, I was able to shed the fat that was there, and my metabolism continued to stay up because of the muscle I had been building for those 6 months. So I'm doing the same thing again. I'm in a reverse. You can't stay in a fat loss plan forever, no matter who you are. So it's kind of it's a roller coaster ride. And I try to look at it as an adventure, because I really like to eat, and I really like to come up with macro-friendly things that I enjoy. Honestly, I eat a lot of whole foods too, a lot of vegetables, a lot of chicken and beef, and the majority of my dairy is in the morning during my breakfast. Not that there's anything wrong with dairy, but I have fun with foods, and if I have macros that are left over, yes, I'm the one who's eating Swedish fish, or I will eat M&Ms. So when you know you need to do a reverse diet, couple of things. First of all, if your fat loss gets too low, you really shouldn't. Most of us should not be eating less than about 10 times our body weight for an extended period of time. So if you weigh 150 pounds. That's 1,500 calories a day. You can go below that, but as the farther you go below that, you're going to start to lose strength. It happens, because the only time you can build muscle is in a calorie surplus. So if your calories have gotten low to where your energy level has dipped, or your calories are just too low, period, it's probably time to reverse. If you have tried to lose fat and you get to where you've stalled out and you just can't lose anymore and your calories are pretty low, that would be a time to reverse. If you have attempted a fat loss and not lost anything, which is initially what happened to me, I was on a fat loss plan for 8 weeks and could not lose. And finally my coach said, I think we need to reverse you up and get you out of a deficit for an extended period of time and let your body kind of rest, because like I said, you just can't keep eating less and less and less and less, and your body is going to continue to adapt to the lower and lower calorie intake. So sometimes it's just wise. I suggest reverses in the winter. Most of us cover up a little bit more. We're more comfortable with a little bit more squish, right? I mean, bears hibernate in the winter, so it's hard. It is hard to reverse in the summertime because you start to feel fluffy. The first thing that I notice with myself when I reverse is that I lose all ab definition within probably 8 to 10 weeks of a reverse. That doesn't mean that I'm getting fat. You just get thicker, but my core is going to get stronger and my quads are going to get stronger. My hamstrings are going to get thicker. I mean, all that stuff is just going to continue to build, and then all that muscle is going to start to show come spring. It's a pancake mix. Have you tried that one? So yes, you have the option to reverse. I mean, hey, if somebody's, I mean, I've had ladies that have come to me and said, let's start a fat loss plan, and they automatically tell me what they've been eating, and I let them know right then, you're not going to be able to lose weight. Sorry. Your calories are way too low for your body, and I've had some women that say, okay, thanks, and they never contact me again because they don't want to hear that. And so they're going to go try to find whatever plan it is that's going to help them lose weight, even though they're already not losing and they're not eating anything. Again, I'm not the end-all be-all. So I will work on Christmas macro-friendly desserts, and tomorrow we will do a workout Periscope with a sample of, I probably will do a 4-day one for you guys, just because that way we're not focusing on one particular muscle group. Like I said, I work legs twice a week, but that is to build my legs. That's where my powerhouse is, so I do actually very similar movements twice a week on those. If there is a body part that you feel is weak and you want to fix that and you want to strengthen that one, add that one in multiple times a week. Not every day, but I wanted to work on my back for a little while, and so I was doing back 3 times a week. I was not doing the same thing. I was not lifting heavy all 3 days, but I was doing different, you know, you can do lighter weight with more reps, and then really kind of doing burnout sets and that kind of stuff. So there are definitely ways if you have a certain area, because I didn't like my back. I don't like to have fat when you wear a bra, and my back is not beautiful, which I wish it was. Yes, you can do HIIT on lifting days. So you should either do it right after you lift, like immediately after, or you should do it 6 hours later. So if you choose to do it immediately after, the reason being is you don't want to do it beforehand, because your lifts, you want to really make sure that you're not fatigued and that you're keeping your form in check, because as we fatigue, of course, our form's going to end up kind of slipping. That's what happens. So you want to make sure that you do your high intensity immediately after. If you do not have the time to do that, but you still want to get it in the same day, you need to wait a minimum of 6 hours. That's going to give your body the chance to, you know, there's this window of like where you've torn down muscle and it's going to start to repair, and your BCAAs, that's where that's going to come into. I do use BCAAs in a fasted workout, and so for lifting warm-ups, I use bands. I use the slingshot for my legs. It's a pretty thick band that fits right above your knees, and I do a lot of side to side, a lot of front to back, really warming up those big muscles, the glutes, the hamstrings, my quads. Do body weight squats. For upper body days, I'll do things like either with TRX bands. I don't know if you guys have seen those at the gym. Push-ups, pull-ups, everything that could be body weight that's really going to really work on warming up those muscles. Also, when you do any heavy lifting, like if you're going to do incline bench press, I suggest that the first set or 2 is still a warm-up set, because even though you may have warmed up those muscles, now you're kind of warming up the muscles for that specific movement. So if you incline bench 95 pounds, I would suggest doing your first warm-up at like 65, And then I would do, you know, 75, 85, and then start your first workout set. So anytime with a workout, if you see that it's like 3 by 8, you really should be doing 1 to 2 sets before that. Those are your 3 working sets. There should be warm-up sets beforehand. You really want to do everything you can to make sure your muscles are primed for those movements. Just like, you know, if you're a runner or something, you should be stretching or warming up those muscles. You don't literally just stand there and then, boom, go for 13 miles. That's insane. So, yes, working out, warm up for sure. Things, honestly, warm-ups on the bike for leg day, bad idea. You're going to do much better like incline walking. Doesn't have to be fast. Just, again, warms up those muscles. But the bike really is such a stationary movement that you really should be getting in more of a warming up everything from the hip flexor and the glutes and the hamstrings and stuff. So, I will put together the workout for tomorrow, and I'll Periscope somewhere around lunchtime. And I'll show you guys kind of what a sample 4-day workout week would look like. And then, like I said, probably put two high intensity cardio sessions in on a week like that. Also, make sure you are always getting at least 2 full rest days a week. Walking, casual bike ride, even yoga is fine on those days, but you should be doing nothing taxing. Muscle is torn down in the gym, but it is rebuilt at rest. I am central, so it is currently 1:45 here. Have a great swim. You're so welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.